What have you learnt about technologies from the process of constructing this product? In the process of constructing my magazine, I used Photoshop technology, where I learnt about layers, how to make a layer, name it, and hide it by clicking the corresponding icon. I also learned how to change the length of the space between the letters by using the leading tool. I also discovered how to vanish inflammations and marks using the clone stamp tool and the heal tool. In terms of layout, I used rulers and guides to ensure my text was aligned and made sure there was an equal amount of space between the text. For example, on my contents page, I used rulers and guides for an equal amount of space between the subheads and the extra information. I learned how to duplicate layers to produce copies of the same layer by using the duplicate tool. Another technology I used was WordPress, where I learned how to upload and publish my work. The availability of WordPress meant I could access it from anywhere as long as the device I used had internet connection, which is an advantage. I also learned how to tick my name before publishing my work so that people know it was my work rather than leaving it uncategorized. Other advantages of WordPress is the availability of WordPress on any computer. The work looks better rather than printing out. It is also quick to find your work and you don't lose anything. The disadvantages of WordPress are if it crashes, you lose all your work and other users on WordPress can copy or plagiarize your work. I used InDesign technology to create my double page spread, where I learned how to add text and images onto the InDesign and create columns of text. I learned how to change the color of the body text and how to create a drop capital. When using a Mac computer to produce my music magazine, I learned how to save my Photoshop and InDesign files by simply clicking on Command Shift and 4 to produce a JPEG, allowing me to upload these files onto WordPress. I learned how to make new folders on my Mac desktop to keep things in a neat order and organized. When on Safari on the Mac, I learned how to save images by holding down the control button and clicking on the mouse to save as. Looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learned in the progression from it to the full product? Looking back at my preliminary task, which was to produce a college magazine, both front cover and contents page, I have learned how to make the music magazine look more professional and more like a real media product. For example, when comparing my college magazine's front cover with my magazine's front cover, the main image on my music magazine front cover is more thought out in terms of mise-en-scène. The lighting on my college magazine front cover is quite dull, whereas my music magazine's front cover image has brighter lighting. The image of the female on my magazine has inflammations on her face. Whilst at this stage of the course I did not know how to vanish these for a clearer appearance. However, I did with my music magazine once I had more knowledge of Photoshop. In reference to formal elements on my front cover, the college magazine's masthead was not eye-catching. It needed to be in a bigger size font compared with my music magazine's masthead, which is bigger in size so it stands out more and fills across the page. When comparing the contents pages, the college's magazine's layout has not got equal amount of space between subheads and extra information, as I didn't use the rulers on Photoshop. Also, there is not enough extra information given under the subheads. The fonts appear to be different sizes and all have different amounts of space between the letters. There is also quite a lot of white space within the contents page. Also, the main headline at the top of the page is not large enough and again does not fill the space at the top of the page. Whereas my music magazine's content page does not have any white spaces and the layout is more neater and more professional. Also, the subscription section of my music magazine is filled up with more information about the subscription compared with my college magazine, which has very limited information.